How's it going, guys? Today is another day down here in the shop. We have the SR back in the shop. Today, I did a couple things yesterday that I wasn't doing, but that I didn't film. So what I did today actually was I finished up my catch can. I ran the line all the way to the back. It looks pretty good just how it is, but this is not the actual orientation that we're gonna have it. We're gonna have it tucked down on the side back here and then pulled farther back so that it actually doesn't go right over the actual valve cover. And then I finished up running at my first return line to the flex fuel sensor. I'm actually gonna cut the fuel line down underneath down there, and then we're going to go ahead and run that last line. But what you can see right here is we have the harness de-loomed. This took about 20 minutes just to de-loom half of this harness because this thing sucks. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to go ahead and pull the cables that need to be loomed to where they are, and we're going to go ahead and wrap this up with electrical tape. The only thing that I can't do today, which I'm kind of upset about, is run the injector wires, but we will figure this out tomorrow. Other than that though, the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to finish up the flex fuel sensor, pull the intake back off, and run some vacuum lines today. So let's go ahead and loom this harness back up. We're going to take this throttle position sensor off, and we're going to put it onto the new intake plenum and onto the new throttle body and see how it fits and where the wire is going to need to go. So let's go ahead and do that first. Okay guys, so just a little continuation of whatever we're doing here. Get out of here.
No, I want to video you doing this so everyone can see it live.
Okay guys, so last night I had de-loomed the harness and I had putzed around with a couple of things. Now I am actually going to re-loom the harness and pull the vacuum lines around the back of the motor instead of going around the front. So basically now what we have to do is we have to electrical tape all of this and put some shielding on this so that it doesn't heat up too much. And we have to loop a couple lines back here and do a couple other things. This line here has to get looped to right here. This line here has to get looped to there, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and jump on to looming this thing up. So guys, today, like I said before, we're gonna do some wiring, but before that, I had gone to You Pull You Pay to go get the pigtails for the injectors that I needed because I didn't think I had them, but lo and behold, Roberto actually had them laying around, so we're going to actually show you guys how to make pigtails. So yeah, also it won't fit the connector, but this one is probably like a 17 gauge, maybe, because yeah, let's go with 17. But
yeah, I think these connectors are good to take anything like smaller than 14, and we have 16, so 16 should be fine. So these connector kits come with usually 3 things: your actual connector, your pin, and an insulator. Insulator you don't necessarily have to use. This is just to keep water and things out of the connector. If it's going in your engine bay or going to see any of the elements, put this on. If it's just going to be inside the car, still put it on, but it's not that much of a necessity if it's not going to see open air and water and such. But in this case, this is going in your engine bay where it's going to see a lot of moisture, heat, and all that good stuff, so we're going to do it with that. You are going to be using these as pigtails. Yeah, so typically, if you're just changing the connectors out and you have plenty of wire left, you could literally just snip or undo your current connectors and just do this to the stock wire. In this case, you're trying to tuck the harness and make everything a little longer, so we're going to make pigtails. But then you will just crimp
onto my other ones.
Right, and you're going to crimp it with a heat shrinkable butt connector, yes. Never solder in your engine bay. They always break. These are pretty straightforward. You run the insulator first, and your insulator is going to be, oop, jumped the gun, I probably shouldn't have crimped it first, but whatever. Ugh. Yeah, this was made for slightly smaller wire, but we should be able to stretch this and make it fit. We have our insulation on. We take our wire. There's 2 crimps, one holds the wire, one holds the insulation. I like to do the wire one first. This is going to be a D-size connector, special tool. Really easy to get though. if you can see that, but the wire is now crimped. We're going to use the A connector to crimp the insulation. Insulation's not crimped. And these have a locking tab that, well, this whole thing comes out and pops in. It pops in to hold the connector, and then you can pop it out to, like this one, to release. And you simply just throw the connectors in from the back. Hear that click? You're in. And now it's tight, and you just use your finger or a screwdriver or something to shove the insulation in. And now, technically, you could put this in water or something like that, and water won't get in there. It's also insulated. If you see the little blue connector there, that blue piece insulates at the injector itself. So anything inside this blue piece or outside this green piece will never see water or anything.
So guys, that's what we're gonna do on these, and then we're going to put them into the car. So what I have done in the car here is I have looped the coolant lines that I needed to loop. So this one's looped to the top of the port right there. And then I used some U-hose in the back here to get the like S shape that I needed. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take off this bracket because this bracket doesn't actually need to be in here. And then we're going to finish up with the connectors and so on and so forth. So let's keep going. Okay guys, so what we have going on here is I loomed the entire harness that I took apart. I have to figure out where I'm gonna put these couple grounds back here. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to cut these ends off, and I'm just gonna put it all into one big one so that I can put it on part of the brake master down there, so that it's all just very neat and tucked away on the side down there. But on the front here, we have this one wire that goes to the angle sensor, and then we have these two, this big connector that goes to the coolant, temp, and stuff like that. And then we have the throttle position right here. So we're going to eventually tie these all up nice like this along the front so that these are all like that. And then what we're going to do is, the other thing that we did was we got all of the injectors all set. So now all of those are all wired up and ready to go. So now what we're going to do is we're actually just going to get this intake plenum put onto the car now, because it's about time. I think it is. Everything's looped underneath that needs to be looped. Everything's plugged in that needs to be plugged in. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put on the idle air control, and we're going to go ahead and get this thing all bolted up so that we can start working on the throttle cable setup and plumbing up some lines for some vacuum. So let's go ahead and do that stuff. Okay guys, so the SR is coming along good. The intake manifold is bolted up finally. You reuse the gasket that it came on the car because it's a metal one, and it should be good. I put some RTV on both the intake plenum and on the head itself so that it's got double sealed. We wired everything up. We extended the things that we need to extend, and yes, should be all set. I finished up my fuel system. So my fuel system has a nice cool loop down there underneath. That's that U1 right here. That one is so that pressure stays in the flex fuel all the time instead of just like returning straight back to the tank. I primed it and made sure that there was no leaks. There are none, so that's really, really cool. And now it's just getting the piping set up and running some vacuum lines here and there, and then yeah, it should be running now. So what we're gonna do tomorrow or another day is we're just gonna run the vacuum lines and do all that kind of good stuff. So yeah.
You don't need the charge packs to run it. It's just, if you just run the vacuum lines now, you can start it up.
Yeah, but we have to do something with the coil packs too. So
start it. Yeah, but you just start it with the factory coil packs because you haven't modified anything yet, right?
No.
Yeah, just run it with the factory coil packs. Make sure everything runs and it's good. Those injectors have been sitting in that box for a year and a half.
Yep.
So it wouldn't hurt to verify they're good. Yeah. We'll beep boop the Hall tech and get everything idling and working and running smooth.
Yep.
And then once we have a good base that everything with the intake is good and the new fuel system is good, then we'll start with the ignition system.
Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do another day. But that's about it on this little video, guys. It was definitely a big pain to get this thing actually bolted up. So what I ended up doing was I just used the stock hardware for it, but I just polished them up so that they don't look like really dingy and whatnot. So Now it's all clean, ready to go, and all tight, torque to spec, ready for some boost. So that's about it though, guys. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, comment, share, and don't forget to hit the notification button. Hit that bell. I'm gonna try that this time. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.